going on, everyone? It's DSP and John Rambo here with me again for episode 2 of Smark, guys. Again, this is our new series where we recap what's been going on in the wrestling world over the past week. We talk about the different shows, and primarily we're covering WWE and TNA since they are the major ones on TV right now. What we're going to do is we're going to start out talking about WWE because not a lot really happened with them this week. This is primarily a TNA heavy week coming off of their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But we will recap everything that happened on all of the shows, and we'll go from there. So, starting out, which was not a very interesting show whatsoever, was this week's SmackDown.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it, actually.
Well, you didn't.
I didn't do my homework this week.
You honestly didn't miss anything because it was really just kind of recapping a lot of the angles. They really didn't progress or go anywhere this week. The first match was Edge versus Jack Swagger, and it was just like a recut of last week's promo where Swagger came out with this stupid new mascot, some guy in an eagle costume, and he's like the Swagger soaring eagle.
Does he still have his father with him?
No, his father's off TV, but I don't know who this other guy is now in this costume.
His father was Bunkhouse Buck from WCW.
Was he really?
Well, it's not his real father, it's like he's playing his father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't his real father?
No.
I didn't even know that. I thought that was his real dad.
Yeah, it's Bunkhouse Buck.
What the fuck?
Old fucking shitty jobber wrestler.
I definitely didn't know that, but... So now Swagger's got this really dumb angle where he has a mascot, and Edge comes out because now he's been traded to SmackDown, and he's pissed off because remember his new gimmick is he's against everything that's stupid. He ends up in a match with Swagger, he ends up spearing the Eagle again, it's a clusterfuck ending, and it's like, you know, Edge does win the match, but I don't know where the hell they're going with this angle. I'm really hoping they have something better for Edge than spearing a fucking Eagle mascot every week. I mean, he definitely deserves better than that.
Maybe.
Pretty lame.
We'll have him just spear different mascots.
Right.
Whatever city he's in, like whatever sports team, we'll just spear the fucking mascot.
Right. There was a really bad promo cut about bragging rights coming up, which is the next pay-per-view. For anyone who isn't familiar with this pay-per-view, it's the one where Raw goes against SmackDown on like a Survivor Series style match of elimination. Yeah. And they've done it for about 2 years now. Last year SmackDown won. So this year they've made Big Show the captain of the team because he actually turned on Raw last year and he was the reason that SmackDown won. A really crappy promo with Hornswoggle, just stuff for the kids, you know, if you like Hornswoggle, woohoo, but it really didn't make much sense. Yeah. And basically now, I guess what the angle is going to be for the next couple of weeks is everyone on SmackDown is going to be vying to try to get on this team to represent SmackDown at bragging rights. So
aren't the lines between the brands really like blurred at this point?
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're acting like there's just hate between.
Right.
Some kind of rivalry when like the guys go back and forth so much.
It's just Edge, case in point. Edge just came to Raw and then got traded right back to SmackDown, so it's like...
They brought up the Big Show turning on Raw, but he actually went back to Raw.
After he turned on.
Yeah, you know, later this year, now he's back. But
it makes no sense.
Yeah, they're trying to push the match like they hate each other, but they don't.
There was a match with Kofi Kingston and Cabal, and actually... This was probably one of the best matches, simply because those guys are really good performers. Great, yeah. And then they end up just jobbing anyway, so it was like, what happened? They just got dominated by fucking...
Oh, it was a tag
team match. You know, it's stupid. You know, Cabal's doing all this amazing backflips and shit, and then, oh, look, they cheat 1, 2, 3, you lose. It's like, you know, you're trying to put over this new guy who just won NXT Season 2,
right,
and
we talked about last week.
He can't win a damn match. He hasn't won a match yet on SmackDown. It's like, give me a break.
Yeah, why should I care about him if he never wins?
Up next was, this was supposedly what everyone would have watched SmackDown for. It's Kane coming out after being victorious at Hell in a Cell. You figure he's going to talk to Undertaker and you're going to find out where the storyline's going. Absolutely not. He babbles for about 15 minutes. Paul Bearer is there and they just talk about nonsense. Undertaker's not even on the show, so figure this out. So the hot week after the pay-per-view, it was Undertaker versus Kane. Taker loses after, you know, Paul Bearer turns on him. And Undertaker's not on the show. It just doesn't make any sense.
Is he like selling his beating or something?
Yeah, I guess, but really, did he really take that much of a beating at Hell in a Cell? You know, it wasn't even a brutal match.
Well, he's still recovering from his state of, what was it, vegetative state?
Yeah, his vegetative state. They're still selling that angle, so.
He's working out, he's eating vegetables and trying to come back.
Okay, the next match was MVP versus Dolph Ziggler, and this was a rematch for the Intercontinental title because if you remember last week, Nexus had interfered in the match and basically made it null and void. So they do this rematch, and for anyone who's been watching SmackDown, there's another side angle going on to this, where basically Vicky Guerrero is going out with Dolph Ziggler, and she's the reason why he won the title to begin with. This is like the third person she's gone out with since she's been on SmackDown.
How many times does this have to happen to her?
It's the same angle over and over.
Is she just like the horniest older woman ever?
She must be like the
like, I don't even fucking care. They're gonna screw me in the end anyway. But I just want to.
I just want to get boned by this wrestler. So I guess
Was it Edge and fucking?
It was Edge, and then it was that really short-lived some Hispanic. I don't remember who he was. He was on and off TV that fast.
Some random guy.
And so now she's with Dolph.
It was one of the fans who sounded sexual.
But now, the whole twist now is that she has a NXT Season 3 rookie, and if you know NXT Season 3, it's all divas this year. So this rookie Caitlyn is supposedly now sweet on Dolph Ziggler, and so there's a side plot about them being romantically involved. And so Vicky gets pissed off and leaves, and then it ends up that Dolph Ziggler ends up winning against MVP, supposedly because of Caitlyn. So now there's this whole thing blowing up. Who's going to win? Who's going to get Dolph Ziggler? And the answer to that question is who gives a fuck? Yeah. Because really, it's a dumb angle. It's the third time they've done this angle with Vicky, and it's like...
Isn't the MVP like a lot better than this? He's actually really good.
They haven't given him any angles in like a year. Like, he's just floating out there. First he was in tag teams with Mark Henry, trying to go for the tag titles. Then he was just trying to get like the US title and stuff like that. And now he's going after the Intercontinental title, and it's like, I don't understand what they're doing.
Basically, like, as they beat it into your head as a fan, like, they're not really going to use him.
Right.
So anytime you see him, it's like, he's like, can't get too excited. He's not going to, it's like he's not going anywhere.
Why are you going to back him if you don't think he's going to ever be pushed or be in a good match or
win
a title?
Man. You have to have, you have to show value in the wrestlers and, like, a reason to care about them. And, like, when you treat them like that or just, like, jerk them around, as a fan, like, you're not going to get behind them. You're not going to believe anymore that they can do something with them.
Right.
So,
that's absolutely
what's happening to him, I think.
So, the highlight of the show is that Rey Mysterio now is coming back off of his injury. He had suffered an injury from Alberto Del Rio about a month ago, where they didn't even have a match, just Alberto Del Rio just beat the living shit out of Rey, hit him with chairs or whatever. Supposedly Rey was out with an injury. So he comes back, and he has this match with Alberto Del Rio, and the match was actually a really decent match.
Yep.
Of course, there's a little bit of nonsense near the end of the match where Alberto's ring announcer tries to get involved in the match and cheat, but it ends up that Mysterio beats Alberto Del Rio, and so just like that, the angle where he's been here for a month, he's been undefeated, he's been beating people, like he wrestled Christian, beat him convincingly, and he's on a good roll. It's just put out and fizzles because they decided to make him lose this match.
Yeah, I feel like the WWE has this deal where, like, you have to pay your dues if you're new. And it's like a lot of it, it's like on the show.
Right.
Like you have to lose and whatever. But it's like, if you want guys to pay their dues, it's fine. Why don't you have them do something in the back? Like fucking clean the ring. Put the fuck. It's like after the night, like, put the ring away or like clean the fucking toilets for God's sake. Something.
Because now it's
why do you have to pay your dues on the show?
Right.
And put in like just because you're new, and like it hurts the overall product, man.
Because now his push is done. Like
his push is done.
If they try to re-push him, well, you already lost.
What's going to happen next? He's going to come out and beat up Mysterio again. They're going to do it again.
Right?
They've already been through the same things again.
It's almost like they've been using him to take people off TV because, like, Christian, he needed to get off TV for a while for operation. So I understand why they did that, but why he just came back at it. I would have actually preferred in this match a no contest ending so that it continues the angle rather than just a clean win by Mysterio.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. So that was SmackDown. Woohoo! There was really no progression at all, and they killed an angle. So whatever. Raw this week, very weird Raw, but at least there was some progression of angles. Again, they're going with this whole bragging rights thing where you need Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, and so the show starts out with John Cena coming out, and he looks like he's going to say something, but then The Miz interrupts him, and The Miz says, listen, I'm going to be the team captain for Raw at bragging rights, so there's nothing you can do about it, but I'd like you to join my team. And before Cena can answer, Wade Barrett comes out and says, look, Cena, don't get any bright ideas. I don't want you on that team. I don't want you leading that team because you're part of Nexus, and your sole focus is supposed to be on winning the title for me. But then the general manager, who's the talking laptop, basically sends an email and says, all right, we're going to have a main event tonight where it's going to be Cena versus Miz, and the winner will be the team captain for Raw. So a little bit of a setup there. Again, this general manager angle doesn't seem to be going anywhere, but they keep going along with it. So the one thing I can say is at least there were no celebrity guests this week. There was a lot of wrestling involved in the show, if you can believe it.
Probably couldn't get anyone to show up. They tried, they called 17, D-list celebrities, please come on.
Right.
Well, maybe everyone's busy doing some crappy roast or something.
So then I guess the first match here was Ted DiBiase versus R-Truth, and Truth ends up winning.
Truth crunk. Does that mean you're high and drunk?
Yes.
Is it a PG show?
I don't understand why he has a song that says he's crunk, because it's supposed to mean that you're high. Exactly right.
I like when he was with John Cena like a couple weeks ago, and he's like, you're the crunkest guy I know.
Cena's like,
he's like, yeah.
Really? But yeah,
so maybe all the 10-year-olds that watch the WWE should get crunk.
I guess
to be like our truth.
That's the message. Like before, there were already some negativity when he came out to the "What's Up" song, because he actually raps when he comes out and sings. Now he's coming out and telling everyone to get crunk. So obviously, someone in WWE management doesn't understand what the hell the word means or what that song means.
Vince just thinks it sounds cool.
Yeah, it's weird. And he's got Eve coming out and dancing with him, which is just kind of awkward, because Eve used to actually be, I believe she was one of the cheerleaders for one major sports team, but I forget which one it was. So she actually can dance, but it's like, why is she coming out and dancing with this random wrestler?
Because she's crunk.
Really weird.
He helps her get crunk, and then she comes out with him.
So they have a match, and Ted, of course, ends up losing because there's still this Goldust angle where Goldust has the $1 million title, which, of course, distracts Ted, and so Truth gets the win. Up next was another really weird match.
Ted's another guy that applies to our, push the right guys.
Well, right. They were pushing him for a while, and then...
That guy's great. He could be like a champion or something.
I don't get it.
I guess not. No.
I guess not. And he can't even keep his own $1 million title.
He can't even keep the title.
Strange S&M dressed people steal his titles from him. So.
He can't even maintain his old fucking made-up belt that his father gave him.
And, oh, by the way, it is important to note that match was the first qualifying match for Team Raw, so basically that got R-Truth onto Team Raw for the Bragging Rights pay-per-view. The next match was also a qualifying match, but this one was really weird because it was announced as a triple threat match between D.H. Smith, Tyson Kidd, and John Morrison, and then they said, oh, well, D.H. Smith is not around, so we don't know where he is. I don't know if that means that he got in trouble, that he got injured, but no one really seemed to know why the hell he wasn't in the match anymore.
Plus some kind of dumb angle where he's going to... Tyson Kidd's be mad at him or
some weird thing, I don't know. But
he's probably like having sex with Natalia. And then,
well, in the angle.
Are they related?
Yes.
Oh, they are. They're like cousins.
Well, Natalia,
it doesn't fucking matter. They'll do it anyway.
They'll do whatever. They already had freaking the brother sister sexual couple.
Tyson Kidd's gonna fucking break in on to see them, and then they're gonna be pissed at him because he wants to fuck her.
Hey, what the hell? You didn't invite me too.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's what I think's gonna happen. We'll see. Tune in next week for Raw and see what happens.
Just look for the three-way angle. It might be. But anyway, a really good match. Morrison actually does this really crazy finisher that I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's gonna do a Russian leg sweep, and instead he does a complete backflip with him held, and he just plants him on the fucking mat. Really impressive. And they've actually been going through a lot of promos where they're saying Morrison does this parkour.
What the... Really?
Yeah, they're saying he practices, that's how he prepares for wrestling, his parkour, which is a style like running up walls and shit, kind of.
Which goes along perfectly with his 1960s rock star gimmick. Parkour, like that's the shit,
They really, I think they need to drop that gimmick and let him be someone else because he's really not going,
the name is cool and like the idea, but like he doesn't have to wear bell bottoms.
Right, exactly. He doesn't have to go along with this gimmick anymore, So anyway, he wins the match. He gets the second spot on Team Raw. Up next is Santino versus Zack Ryder in an extremely fast and just basically a match that's meant to be hilarious. Yeah. Zack misses a move. Santino nails him with the Cobra and knocks him out and somehow gets the 3 count. And even the announcers are surprised that the Cobra works. It actually knocked someone out and he won a match. Oh my god.
So was that like a qualifier?
Yeah, it was a qualifier.
So on the fucking
Santino was on Team Raw, so I'm sure we're all happy about that.
Yeah, $55 for that paper. Watch Santino.
Up next was Orton, Randy Orton versus Justin Gabriel from Nexus. It was a one-on-one match. The rest of Nexus ended up getting banned from ringside during this match, so it ended up being a fair match one-on-one. And of course, Orton wins, but it's kind of a really weird ending because Justin Gabriel looked like he was going to do the 450 splash and he was supposed to miss it. And Orton started to roll out of the way, but didn't completely get out of the way.
So it's kind of a botch.
He kind of he pancaked his arm and his shoulder, which is actually bad because that's the shoulder he's hurt. It had multiple surgeries on. So I think Orton looked legitimately pissed. So as soon as Gabriel got up, Orton no-sold it, got up and just fucking RKO'd him and pinned him. So it was kind of a weird botch ending, but I don't know if it was meant. Obviously, I don't think he was supposed to hit his arm like that. I think Orton was supposed to get out of the way in time.
Well, Justin Gabriel could be fired now because it's what the rumor is about Mr. Kennedy Because apparently, like, that's the rumor or whatever.
That
Katie hurt
Orton.
And Orton was, like, complaining.
Was pissed. And now it's like, they keep doing this with Nexus. How many people can they drop off of Nexus? I don't know.
Who knows if this stuff is true?
And there's this other really weird side angle that they're still continuing where there's this rift between Atunga and Barrett on Nexus. Like, for some reason, Atunga is, like, doing side stuff. Like, he's telling Cena, don't worry. If you have problems being part of Nexus, come talk to me. And he has all these weird plots and things that he's doing on the side, and Barrett doesn't appreciate it. So you can already tell this is going to come to fruition.
Why can't we just make Nexus a strong group?
Because then it wouldn't be
all these fucking
complicated enough for the common person to understand.
God, man.
So, alright, so the next match, another qualifying match. It was another Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. So this is a rematch from last week where Daniel Bryan got completely squashed. In the defense of the WWE, they rebooked this match properly where Bryan did a really good effort. He got him in the submission hold a couple times. He did a lot of impressive things. Over in the end, Sheamus wins, which is kind of what you were expecting. He's twice the size of Daniel Bryan, but still, at least they gave him a semi-push in this match.
I made him look strong as a top heel, I guess, but I don't know. It still kind of bothers me a little bit. Seeing that he is the United States champion.
Right. And he's still jobbing. He still hasn't won a match in how long?
I could see them doing this program if he wasn't the U.S. champion. It just makes the belt look fucking retarded.
Right, like what is the point of this belt when every match they put him in, he gets squashed by someone?
Yeah, what is the point of the belt, exactly? Sheamus fucking wins and he doesn't even want the belt.
Right.
He doesn't even go give me the title shot. He doesn't give a shit.
Right.
He goes, fuck, I'll just beat you. You can keep that little trinket.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Then in another really odd promo, we cut to the locker room where R-Truth goes to talk to Cena and says, this is the promo where he says you're one of the most crunk guys here, and Cena's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he basically tells Cena, listen, if you're going to be part of Nexus and you don't want to get fired, I'm sorry to tell you this, John, but maybe you should just quit before you do something you regret. And everyone's like, quit? Yeah, so now John Cena's really just going to quit the WWE.
You should just quit.
Just quit, man.
I'm sure Vince would be, the marketing department would be fine with that.
It was funny, it was hilarious, because when he said that, you could hear half the people in the audience outside were like, yeah, fucking quit, we hate that motherfucker. But, you know, obviously they're not going to have Cena quit. Well,
Cena had a good line about, what they said, fans should have a new chant for me, like Cena sucks. He's like, I've heard that before.
Yeah, he says, I've heard that chant before.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing, where, you know, he's kind of poking fun at himself.
Right. So there's another match. This is another qualifying match for bragging rights. This is Evan Bourne versus, and then it's a surprise, CM Punk comes out, because CM Punk is who was traded for Edge on SmackDown. So he comes out. Really good match, a lot of good spots. At the end of the match, Punk wins, which is no surprise. It makes sense coming into a new show that they would let him win like that.
Evan Bourne's also taking some time off.
Is he?
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
Do you prefer CM Punk with the hair or the new tattoo? What do you think is better?
The tattoo is weird, man.
Do you like the chest hair CM Punk?
I don't know if I want to go that far to make these kind of judgments, but I just think his tattoos now are kind of weird because he colored them in all green and red and shit, and it just doesn't look right. You know, I don't know. There's
Maybe he knew like he fucked up, and that's why he had the hair to cover it.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But he's looking different now with these new tats. And after the match, he completely beats down Evan Bourne for like 5 minutes, and then it's a really funny line. Yeah. The cameraman zooms in, and CM Punk looks straight at Evan and goes, like, nothing personal! And he's like choking him out on the floor. It was hilarious. It was just a great line. So
yeah, CM Punk, he kind of like gets that. A lot of the wrestlers don't understand that kind of like psychological kind of thing to put in there.
Him and Jericho, they both get it. Jericho, like, get up, you son of a bitch, get up.
Little touches, like guys like Terry Funk, Jake the Snake are really good at that.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the wrestlers now are just more into like, if you're like a indie show, they just do like a spot.
Right, and that's
They don't get that like psychological thing.
Right.
Little touches.
So then, I guess there was a Divas promo that I didn't even pay attention to. I don't know if you remember anything about it, but I fucking don't care. So the main event came out. It was Miz versus Cena for the team captain of the bragging rights team for Raw. And all of a sudden they announced it's a no DQ match. So you know what that means. It's going to be a clusterfuck. So, they go back and forth. Then all of a sudden, Harris and McGillicuddy, who were the two people who interfered in the title match to begin with at the last pay-per-view and caused, Cena to lose the match to Wade Barrett. They come out, they interfere, they cost Cena the match, so Cena loses the match, and basically the show ends with Miz is now going to be the team captain for bragging rights, which really was no surprise anyway, because we kind of knew that the Cena angle with Nexus was going to continue.
Yes, it will.
So really nothing major happened on either show. A little bit of progression in the storylines, and at least now we're getting an idea of who's going to be on each team for bragging rights. But overall, especially with The Undertaker being absent, really weird week in WWE. It just didn't seem like they were prepared
Yeah, it's like the early stages of preparing for the next show, the next pay-per-view.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's like they're just trying to get their shit together, I think, and put some stuff together.
All right. So overall, what did you think about WWE this week?
It's like the same stuff. Nothing.
It seemed to me like a filler week. It did. Like nothing really major was going on. They knew they had to put on a show, so let's make excuses to make spots on teams, and rather than actually progress any storylines.
I'm not really too interested in the Raw vs. SmackDown thing because it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day.
Right.
It's like the guys from Raw and SmackDown will just be on different shows no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's not like what do you win? Is there something on the line?
It's a gimmick. It's like
bragging rights.
Yeah, which is basically it's like Survivor Series where you know.
Do I really care about scripted bragging rights that don't really matter?
Right.
Don't really matter the next show.
We get to win the cup that will show for 2 shows and then it will be on the side forever. So, whatever. All right. So that was it for our WWE recap. Coming up next, we'll talk about TNA. Big week for TNA with their Bound for Glory pay-per-view and TNA Impact this week. So we'll be right back.